So I get asked all the time on how to replace the upper handguard on an SKS, and I figured I may as well make a video on it. So the tools you're going to need an SKS, you're going to need a hammer, you're going to need punches, a 3/32 punch, and I also like to have a smaller punch. This is just what I happen to have at the moment. You need a drill, you need an assortment of drill bits. Specifically, you will need, if I can find it, a 3/32 drill bit. You need your replacement rivets. You need a pair of Knipex pliers or something similar to crush the rivet. An assortment of files and some cold glue. I also sell these replacement rivets. The packets I sell come with two. One so you can replace it, second if you fuck one up. So first off, we're going to remove our upper handguard and gas tube assembly. What you're going to do is you're going to take the lever, move it to this position. What you are doing is you are moving it so, if my camera will focus, this edge and this edge are flush. So the gas tube can very easily just slide out. So more or less what the idea is we are going to remove the rivet that is right here. It is not a pin, it is in fact a rivet. What the difference is that a rivet is not meant to be removed because the rivet has this flared end here, and after you crush it, it'll have a flare end here. So it's not meant to be just punched out with a punch and hammer. You can break this taper, but if you're hitting it that hard, you're liable to break the ferrule. And especially if you're Canadian, getting a replacement ferrule is damn near impossible. You basically have to get it from either an American or somebody in Eastern Europe, because this part is extraordinarily hard to find for whatever reason. So basically what's going to happen is, if I can grab my drill bit here, what you are going to be doing is you're going to be bringing a drill bit, just drilling the very first little bit of this lip. After that, you're going to be punching out that remaining rivet, because all you're doing is you're removing this tapered portion. You want the straight to stay there. That way you're not digging into the steel of the gas tube body. You don't want to take material away from this. You only want to remove rivet material. So you're going to hammer out the old rivet. It shouldn't take a massive amount of force. So if you're really hammering on it, go back with the drill bit and go again. The replacement, and I kind of put in like this. You're going to trim it, and then you're going to squish it flush. But we'll go over that a little bit later. Basically for now, we're going to be drilling out the old rivet. So you're going to want to, other side, you're going to want to center punch it right in the dead center of that rivet. So I've gone ahead and drilled out the very head of it, and it ended up breaking off. So this should be pretty easy, like it's starting to fall out even. Should be pretty easy to just kind of tap on out. So at this point, it's been drilled. It should be a fairly simple matter. I'll just remove this to get a better surface. This isn't really an ideal hammering surface. I highly recommend that you find a concrete or steel surface to hit against. But for the sake of doing a video, I'll do this. It should be very, very easy to tap this out. You shouldn't be wailing on it like that. Oh, there it goes. That was hardly nothing. So as you can see, this one side has this tapered edge and this one side is gone. I drilled this side out and there's that. So now this is too short to act as a pin. Not that it was in the first place. And that's why we need a replacement rivet. So at this point, you take your handguard off, you do whatever you're gonna do. I took this off just for demonstration. So I'm gonna put it back together, put this back together. Lining up this hole can sometimes be a little difficult. So I sometimes just put a punch in there to keep it aligned. You're going to grab your replacement rivet, follow your punch through, get it on in, and now I have these deliberately oversized because, believe it or not, communist parts tend to not be entirely accurate in their dimensions. All right, at this point we're going to install our new rivet. So we're going to take our rivet, put it into place, take a look at it. Now, what I want out of this is here's one I already cut, about that much taken off. And an easy way to do it, because I sent you two, is to line it up, take about 3/32, which is the diameter of the other rivet, and leave that much on this guy. So if I swap them out to the one I already cut, this isn't an exact science, so you do kind of whatever, but leave about that much exposed, because when we grab our 9-pix, bring it up close. I'll just start that, get it a bit closer. We're going to squish this. If I can get you, there, that's a decent look at it. Right flush. Flip it over. There we go. So now, that side's nice and flat. That side, I can get a little bit more down. There we go. So as you can see, it is, oh geez, this camera is nicely crushed on both sides. So now, all that's left to do is file it. So I went and filed it flush, which is just a matter of taking it and removing material. As you can see, there's a little bit of a gap still in there, but it's plenty strong to hold that tube in. The one thing I will say is, I can say that I did it as a learning experience, but I totally just fucked this one up. You can see this line of material where I removed. You want to try and not remove any steel in that area, or at least best as you can, because putting a line in that bend will create a stress riser and encourage cracks in that area. Is that enough to matter? No, but it's just good practice. You want to take away, as best as you can, only the aluminum. So at this point, because nobody's perfect, we have a little bit, oh my God, this camera. We have a little bit of steel exposed here, here, a little bit here. So what we're going to do now is we are going to take some cold blue and we are going to hide some of those imperfections. So you're going to take some brake clean, get it the right way around, and just clean off the area you just worked on to get any oils or any shavings out of there, to give you a nice clean surface for when you do your cold blue. Try not to get much on the wood. I did. It's this is not a particularly nice SKS, so I'm not terribly worried about scratching it or taking some of the finish off. I got it basically specifically to do tutorial videos like this. So yes, you do want to use gloves with this. I am not, do as I say, not as I do. Use gloves when you use cold blue. So you're going to just kind of rub it on there. It really is almost like magic. Just kind of get it on. And this step is not necessary. It is purely for aesthetics. So The only shiny bits left should be your rivet, because that is aluminum and that does not work with cold blue for steel. They do make cold blue for aluminum if you really want to get it all blued up, but I do not particularly care. I'm gonna go wash my hands because that shit is fucking horrible for you. I'll be right back. And now all that's left is just put it back together.